Hey everyone, Gaijin Goombah here. I know you're expecting another game exchange, but my doctor says I gotta take it easy this week for blood pressure problems and things of that nature. So I figured it would be a good time to do another real talk with Goombah, and I've got a special guest with me this time as well.
Hi!
And I got Aki with me.
Hi.
They can't see your face, dear.
Hi, I'm Aki!
Oh my gosh. So I guess think of this as just kind of like a bit of a podcast as a carryover while I try and get a little bit better. So I've talked about what it means to be otaku. I've talked about the Me video, which was a lot about it, and now I kind of want to talk about fan service. With the advent of Senran Kagura Estival Versus coming out in the US finally, we've only been waiting a year for that. I'm sure you guys have saw the video about that, and there's a lot of journalists just having a field day with it in probably the most unprofessional ways possible. But I kind of stepped back and I was like, you know, what does fan service really mean? What is it attributed to? And should it be what we've defined it to be? So, what do you think, hun?
Like what fan service is?
Yeah, I guess we can go with that. So, like,
Okay.
what do you think fan service should mean?
What it should mean? I mean, I see it as just things that should be put, I guess, in the game to kind of pay homage to either other games or previous games, like if it's in a series or something.
Right.
We associate fan service as nothing but strictly like sexual stuff, like a big butt, showing a butt, nudity that's like playfully, creatively blocked out.
It's always one-sided too, right? Like it's always like female representation.
I have noticed that. And anytime you see boobs, anytime you see females' butts, people get their freaking panties in a twist. I didn't see anybody throwing a damn hissy fit over the new DMC when Dante's flying through the trailer butt naked with nothing but a baseball bat like in front of his dong.
And that's something to...
That's fan service.
Well, yeah, but we'll get to that in a bit. But it's just like it's kind of weird because fan service is now something very, very specific and really apparently only applies to video games and anime, sometimes manga. But it really is one-sided, and it really is just giving the fans, like, exploitation of the female form and whatnot. And honestly, I don't think it really should mean that. I mean, I feel like that's not really that fair, because when you break down the words fan service, you are giving service to the fans. You're basically giving to the fans what they want to see, even if it, like, in either replacing or just kind of overpassing actual plot, character development, things of that nature. It's strictly in there just to make fans happy, but not really contributing much more to the product.
Yeah, it's not game breaking or anything like that. It's just a fun little thing like, hey, look what we decided to add.
But I mean, at the same time, wouldn't you say that a lot of fan service, regardless of how it's defined, doesn't really add anything to the ongoing plot?
No, it doesn't.
So
It's just there for funsies, for lols.
for fun, I think there would be
think
some
so.
people that would disagree with you on that.
I don't know, that's how I see it.
So, I don't know, like, would you say that there are far more fan service games than we realize, or aspects of fan service that really is fan service, but we really don't call it that?
Yeah.
So it's like, you mentioned Devil May Cry before. It's interesting. I would classify a lot of that game under female fan service. Like that,
it is.
It's so hilarious to me. It's like, people get so wound... It's like you said earlier. People got so wound up about Senran Kagura, about DOA Extreme 3
Bayonetta.
and Bayonetta and all these games. And then you've got like Dante, and gosh, you're gonna have to help me find the picture, but like the freaking scissor lock that's like he and Virgil.
Oh no, him and Nero from Devil May Cry 4.
See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
That's fan service. I saw that. The first time I saw that, I was thinking, ooh, naughty boys.
Now, why does that get a pass, ladies and gentlemen?
I know. I've seen the picture like redone in so many different forms. Yay, fan art.
It kind of, well, no, it kind of drives me crazy, because it's like, you know, we talked about this last time we were trying to record this, but it's like, when it comes to guy smut, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, it's horribly shamed, society casts it out. Female smut, it's freaking publicated in books, made into movies, widespread appeal.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, I complain about the one-sidedness that is violence versus sexuality, but if we're going to be talking about that kind of fan service, it's absolutely slanted in favor of women. It just is. Society's let it be that way.
I feel like, I guess we're calling this female fan service and then male fan service. I feel like the female stuff is almost a little more subtle. subtle, I guess.
Well, it's more subtle.
Well hidden.
Well, it's because
maybe that's why it gets a better pass.
Well, it's because it's not really shown.
Yeah.
For guys like men, I hate to speak for all men, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're a very visual like gender, I suppose. Like
that's not fair because I'm very visual.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm a weird female. Like I can read smut, but I honestly prefer like the doujinshi, like the drawn like manga. I personally prefer that because I'm too lazy to imagine this crap.
They can't hear you, hun. You gotta speak louder than that.
I'm too lazy to imagine this crap. I like my visual smut. Thank you very much.
Okay, fine. I will give that to you. But it's like, I think it's twofold of thus. One, it's that it's typically in written form, and it's not visual, which visual, it just impacts you in the face a lot harder. And the other thing, too, is that we still have so many people that are like, this is a male-dominated society. Therefore, it's like, I don't know, I just feel like men are extra large targets for things like this. Where women, since women have had such a history of downtroddenness, it's like, oh, well, we can let that go because they've had it rough for a really long time, and I don't think that's fair, but I think that's the reason why. Let's keep talking about different kinds of fan service. Like, we talked about Project Cross Zone. I think Project Cross Zone is a fan service game. Because honestly, can you guys either recall the plot of that game, or do you even care about it? Because I would argue that everyone was just interested in seeing all of Capcom's characters getting together and fighting. Now, there is nothing wrong with that. That needs to be the overall message of this, is that there's nothing wrong with fan service. It's just, fan service is not limited to TNA. It's really not. I mean, honey, you just beat the game. How fan service do you think it is?
I'm trying to remember the plot.
That's what I mean. It's like, fan service doesn't, never usually excels the plot. Thus, if you can't even recall the plot, it's a fan service game.
Something about a guy wanting to stone and destroy the world, kind of generic crap. But I mean, I like crossover type games where it's like some crap happened and then like dimensions like merge and then everybody's like, oh hey, what's up? Oh, we're fighting this dude. Oh, we're fighting this dude. Oh, well, there's this other big bad guy that they're working for. You want to kick his ass? You're like, yeah, let's go. Let's all go. And I will admit that every time that it was like Dante's turn, I fangirl a little bit. I'm like, ah!
But see, that's what I mean. It's like, the whole point of that game is to get fans going all, because all of these characters are together. It's like...
And I mean, you even had like Zero and X, so that was
I was about
really
to
cool
say,
too.
if you had like combining Zero or X with like Ryu and whatnot, and freaking Ace Attorney, it's... Wasn't there like a Monster Hunter reference in there too?
I think it's in the second one.
It's in the second one?
I haven't
But
played
that's what I mean. It's like, can we just agree that that is a fan service game? And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but we need to really redefine the term. Now, let's talk about something that I love talking about, Mortal Kombat. I don't care who you are, that is a fan service game. Mortal Kombat has always been a fan service game. Does anyone really remember the plot? No? Does anyone really care about the plot? I kind of don't think so. The last couple of times Mortal Kombat tried to have plot, it turned out not so great. But I would argue that games like Mortal Kombat or Manslaughter or, I don't know, even like Hatred, even though Hatred was just... It was just a game that existed just for shock value alone. But it's like, no, this is what I would call a violence fan service game. It's like, oh cool, how many ways can we freaking slice a person apart or whatever. It's just, and again, I don't have any personal problems with it. Like, I tear down Mortal Kombat so much, but I seriously do not have a problem with the game existing. But it's like, you can't tell me that Mortal Kombat is not a fan service game. Like, would you agree with me? Because Aki's loved the game franchise for a long time.
I grew up playing Mortal Kombat, and unfortunately, one of the last Mortal Kombat games I actually ever played was actually Deadly Alliance, because that was where it kind of started doing the whole, like, combo-heavy stuff, and I suck at remembering all the button combinations, and they added kind of like a weird RPG element, and I'm like, I just want to beat the crap out of people to let off steam.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing, too. It's like, there were so many... Granted, the movesets were different, but early Mortal Kombat felt very recycled. Like, a lot of the animations were the exact same. A lot of the basic attack animations were the exact same. A lot of the designs were the exact same. But you didn't play Mortal Kombat for interesting character development or really, really pretty fighting. If you wanted that, you would typically play Street Fighter. No, we played it because it was the most graphically violent game out there.
Well, I mean, in terms of the animations, I mean, you gotta think of what they had to work with the technology at the time. I think they did pretty good for what they did have.
But then you can look at a game like Street Fighter. This is where we have a divide, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I would argue that and we're getting away from the topic.
Sorry.
No. But I would honestly say that we should hold them higher than that because Street Fighter did such a good job of creating individual characters. I remember like the first Lee did a video that highlighted that in. I'll put a link up somewhere. But he talked about how like Street Fighter was really diverse and original, blah blah blah, whatever. Anyway, so there's a couple more. Let's talk about Need for Speed and Initial D. Because that is also those are complete fan service franchises. Because it's car fan service. It specifically is servicing fans of like cars.
I actually grew up playing Need for Speed as well.
And again, no problems whatsoever. But it's like you can't sit there and tell me that it's not a type of fan service game. Because it's just all about cars, about cars.
Especially with, like, Need for Speed Carbon. I think that was the most recent one I played. It's like, you get to drive in these sexy cars, and you get to race, and, like, just drift. And I'm like, I can't do that stuff in real life. I definitely want to do it in these pretty cars. And I don't have to pay the insurance for them.
But it's just... These kinds of games, though, are not for everyone.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the thing, too, is that a fan service game is not necessarily for everyone.
Yeah, there's a different niche.
Yeah.
It's a niche audience.
Yeah, we might as well call fan service just like niche service.
Yeah.
Because that's also what it is.
Might as well.
And then you've got, like, people are going to hate me for saying this, but I also think that GTA is a fan service game in itself because it's just a massive power trip. And again, it's not something that everyone enjoys and everyone likes, but it's something that a niche of people, well, I can't really say that because a lot of people love that game. But I just feel like it in itself is a fan service game because its plot isn't really important.
Yeah,
no one plays
the plot.
No one plays GTA for the story or the plot. Like,
and if you do, please tell me what the story is.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea. I just like to get the cheat codes, get the Molotov cocktails, the rocket launchers, and like spawn a couple tanks and then just go blow stuff up.
Now that's not to say that the characters are uninteresting.
I'm sure they are.
It's just, I don't know how really story-driven GTA games are, and they don't necessarily have to be.
Well, because like I played GTA like 3 and Vice City, well, I think were like the first ones I played, and I played San Andreas.
You gotta talk louder.
I think it was San Andreas that I played, and that one actually did kind of have like an in-depth story kind of going through. But and I kind of went through it a little bit, and I kind of went, screw it. Where's my Molotov cocktails?
Oh, excuse me. Okay, so, and here's the other thing, too. I would argue that, like, 90% of DLC is fan service. It just, like, please convince me otherwise, guys. I would love to be convinced otherwise, but I don't believe it for a second. We talked about Monster Hunter and the Nintendo, like, the extra Nintendo DLC that's been coming on. That's fan service. It really is, because it's like, you can be Link, which is something a whole lot of fans like, or you can have... I still have to get the Taiko no Tatsujin mallet.
Yeah.
I really have to get. Or no, it was a Warhorn, I think.
Well, I think it was a Warhorn, and they also had the deal with Uniqlo.
Yeah,
well.
they did.
They had that, and they also had Metroid. You have the Mario Brothers in there as well, and then all kinds of stuff.
And Bayonetta did the exact same thing with all the different stuff. And it's just, it doesn't advance the plot. It doesn't help the plot, certainly. It's just there because fans like it and fans want it to be there. So I guess the whole point I'm trying to make, because we actually got to wrap this up, the whole point I'm trying to make is fan service should not exclusively be like TNA on females. Because, I mean, this whole conversation was, it applies to so many other areas. This concept applies to so many areas. And I know that this doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of direct one-to-one with culture, but this is kind of our gaming culture, or our nerd culture, and it's something that I do like to talk about from time to time. But I don't know, I just feel like we need to call a spade, you know? We need to stop generalizing and just look at how games have been. And just, the bottom line is just play what's fun and play what's enjoyable. And if you don't enjoy it,
don't play it.
Well, that, and you're not attributing anything to the gaming culture, the gaming scene, anything, by reviewing and talking bad about a game just because you don't like it. That's something that has kind of really spurred me to talk about this, is that I've seen people time and time again, I've seen, quote, professional reviewers and websites just bash multiple games because they just don't like it, and so they find everything wrong with it and then continue to just not mention any of the positives or purposely leave stuff out because they say it's a fan game or fan service, and it's just dumb.
Yeah, there are quite a few games that were super popular that I don't care for, that I don't like, and I'm just, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll go over here and I'll play my games. You guys go play that.
Yeah. So, thanks for letting me be chill this week, guys. I'll be rolling out a new game exchange hopefully next week. So, I don't know, is there anything else you want to add, hon?
Keep a lookout for more Senran Kagura fun from me on my
Yeah,
channel.
all of the video footage that I'm overlaying on this is from Aki Plays and us playing Senran Kagura, and it's gonna be fun. They can't see your face, dear.
Well, you should, like, I'll make a sprite.
Oh my goodness. So go check that out once you're done here, just to have a good old time. So, anyway, until next time, everyone, this is Gaijin Goombah, signing out.